In this program, we'll use a button to control the pitch that plays on a speaker. To do that, we'll need a variable to hold that pitch value. When creating a variable, the first thing to do is define what type of variable it is. I want to use an integer variable, so I type int, and that means my variable will be a whole number value with no decimal places. Next, I name the variable. I'm naming this variable pitch because that's what the variable is going to stand in for, the pitch that's playing on the speaker. After an equal sign, we give the variable a starting value, and I've found that the speaker sounds best when it's playing a minimum value of 40 Hz, so that's why I chose that starting value. Within the void setup, use the pin mode function with the arguments A5 and output to set up your speaker. Use another pin mode function with arguments 2 and input pull up to set up the button that's going to control the pitch. Within the void loop, we first have a tone function, and that has two arguments. The first is the port where you want the tone to play. For us, that's A5 where our speaker is plugged in. And the second is the hertz value of the tone you want to play. In the past, we've used a specific number here, like 400, to play 400 Hz. But now, we want to use a variable value instead of a specific number. So we use pitch to determine the tone. The next thing in this code is an if statement. The if statement has two main parts. Between the parentheses is a condition that is checked every time the if statement runs, and between the curly braces are the actions that run when the if statement's condition is true. So, if we see that the digital read of 2 is low, meaning that the button is pressed, then the code between the curly braces will run. The first line inside this if statement is pitch equals pitch times 2. So that's going to double the value of the pitch variable. Then we have a delay of 100 milliseconds, and that allows the pitch to rise a little bit more slowly so that you can hear it scale up, because pretty quickly pitch is going to get out of hearing range. Next we have another if statement. The condition of this if statement is if pitch is greater than 10,000. So if it's true that the pitch variable's value is greater than 10,000, we want to run the code inside these curly braces, which sets pitch to 40. So this if statement is really just resetting pitch from somewhere above 10,000 down to 40, where we can hear it again. When the code reaches the end of the void loop, it jumps back up and it runs this tone function again, using whatever the value of pitch is as the hertz value that's going to play on the speaker. So as this void loop runs, pitch will first equal 40, and if you press down and release quickly on button 2, pitch will equal 80. Now it's going to be able to play a new tone every 100 milliseconds, so that's 10 different tones per second. If you want to change how fast or how slow the scale plays, you can play around with this delay. You can also set a different maximum threshold before pitch gets reset into a range that you can hear.